Okay, girls and boys, we need to review the simple present. This topic also comes on Unit 3, so it's important to review it. We saw this information on English 1, but now we're going to review it. So the simple present is the action that normally you do, okay? For example, every day I brush my teeth, or every day you eat lunch, or on the weekends you do the homework. So simple present action is the one that you normally do on the in the afternoons, on the weekends, or at Christmas, etc. On Christmas, I'm sorry, okay? So we're going to review it, the positive, negative, and the question form, okay? Well, of course, to write a sentence, we need a specific structure, okay? And in this simple present form, okay, that if you hear present simple or simple present is the same. So to make a sentence, you know that we need a pronoun, a name, or a subject, okay? Singular or plural. And then the action is going to be conjugated in simple present, okay? Some actions are going to be with S and the others without the S. And of course, we need a complement. Okay, this is in positive, okay? Positive for plural form. Well, I is not plural, but is the first person of the singular. So for I, we, you, and they, the action stays the same. I run in the park always. My friends play soccer on weekends. Carelli and Danny talk every night, okay? And of course, the verb to be is another action, okay, that has its own form to conjugate, okay? So we are the champions, for example. Now, if we're going to work with the singular form of he, she, or it, the third form of the pronouns, the third form of the singular, for example, we're going to work with my sister does the homework in the afternoons. Alex plays the guitar sometimes. Lucas barks a lot, if it is a dog, of course, right? And if we are going to work with the verb to be, we're going to work with is. He is crazy, okay? Now, if you see, we have the pronoun, okay? The pronoun I, or we have a subject, my friends, or we have names, okay? This in plural, Carelli and Danny are plural. And then the second part is the action conjugated, run, play, talk, okay? Because these are not singular persons, okay? And if you are going to use are, well, remember that are goes with the plural form. Now, for singular, my sister is a subject. Alex, it's a name, okay? Lucas, well, of course, Lucas is another name for a dog, for a pet. And he, it's a pronoun. So if you see, we're going to work with does, plays, barks, or talks, or dances, or reads, etc. Why those actions have an S? They have an S because we're talking about a singular form, the third form of the singular. Acuérdate que la he, she o it son la tercera forma del singular y el verbo va a llevar una S. Ahorita vamos a ver con más ejemplos. Now, to work in negative, okay? Well, first of all, remember that to use an action in simple present tense, it's going to depend on the pronoun or name. For example, okay, we have more actions, okay? But for the moment, we're going to work with these ones. With the verb to be, with love, with do, have, go, and travel, okay? Some of them are regular, some of them are irregular. For example, I am, I love, I do, I have, I go, I travel, okay? We, you, and they, the same. We are, we love, you do, we have, they go, you travel, they have, etc., okay? Now, what happens with he, she, and it? If you see, all the action has an S, okay? He and she and it, of course, is, if it is a verb to be. He, she, and it loves, or does, or has, or goes. Like Susan goes, okay? Anwar loves, okay? Carelli does, okay? But if you're talking about Carelli and Anwar, you're going to say do, okay? These actions are with S because they are not in plural. They are in the third form of the singular. ¿Okay? Acuérdate que para la tercera persona del singular el verbo lleva una S, pero no porque esté en plural, porque estás trabajando con la tercera persona del singular. Acuérdate que I es la primera persona del singular, you es la segunda persona del singular, pero he, she and it es la tercera persona del singular y después los plurales. En el simple present todos los verbos llevan S siempre y cuando estás hablando de él, de ella y de eso, hablando de una cosa, de un animal o de una ciudad. Muy importante que recuerdes eso. Cuando es él, ella o eso, ¿sí? Cuando es Eric, cuando es la maestra, cuando es el estudiante, cuando es el barco, etc. El verbo, la acción va a llevar una S porque estás hablando o trabajando con la tercera persona del singular. Con la primera y la segunda y con los plurales, el verbo se queda como en su forma igual, ¿verdad? Love, do, have, go, trap, excepto el verbo to be que tienen diferente conjugación. Más o menos, espero que recuerden esto y pongan mucha atención. Then, to work with the negative form, okay? Of course, we need a pronoun, a name, or a subject, okay? Then, we're going to work with the auxiliary do or does, okay, plus not. That is the same if you use a contract form of don't or doesn't, okay? Remember to get used to contractions. And then the action is going to be in the base form, okay? In infinitive form plus complement. For example, I don't run in the park. Or I do not run in the park. It's the same. My friends do not play soccer on weekends. Kareli and Danny don't or do not talk every night, okay? But remember that the verb to be has its own form, okay? For the verb to be is we are not the champions. Now, for the singular form, my sister doesn't do the homework in the afternoons. Alex does not play the guitar sometimes. Lucas doesn't or does not barks a lot. Remember that doesn't, it does not is the same. You can use the short form or the full form, okay? And the verb to be, remember that has its own form, like he isn't crazy, okay? So please pay attention, okay? If you're going to work with negative form, okay, remember that we need to use don't or doesn't. Don't or do not, doesn't or does not, plus the action in the base form, okay? And for questions, okay, if you're going to use questions, well, of course, the questions are with the auxiliary first, okay? Do or does, okay, plus the pronoun or name or the subject, plus the action in base form, okay, plus the complement, okay? For example, do you do the homework in the afternoons? Yes, I do. No, I don't, okay? Do your friends eat hamburgers? Yes, they do. No, they don't. Does she travel in the summer? Yes, yes, she does. No, she doesn't. Okay. Does Alexa cook lasagna? Yes, she does. Okay. So it's important that you remember that always to do a question, it begins with an auxiliary. In simple present, we use the auxiliary do or does. Okay. So this is first, and then the pronoun you or your friends if it is a subject, or Alexa if it is a name. Okay, and then the action cook, travel, eat, do stays in the base form, okay, or in infinitive form, and then the complement, okay. For example, remember that the verb to be has its own form, okay, to do the questions and to do the negative and the positive form. For example, if you're going to work with the verb to be, you have to begin with are, with is, or am, right? Are you in love? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. Is Jackie my best friend? Yes, she is. No, she isn't. Are my parents at home? Yes, they are. No, they aren't. If you're going to work with the WH question, of course, the WH question is first. Where are you now? I am at school. When is your birthday? It's next Friday. Why is she sad? Because she failed the test. Who are they? They are my brothers. So all of these questions are in positive, well, but first, most of all are in present, okay? And if you are going to work with the simple present, but with the rest of the actions, you can use what, where, which, who, when, why, how many, how much, how long, etc. Okay? And if you're going to work with the simple present, well, you need to work with the action in the base form, okay? And do for plural and does for singular. When do you do the homework? I do the homework in the afternoon. What do your friends eat on weekends? They eat pizza and tacos, okay? Where does she live? She lives in Monterrey. Why does Esteban work too much? Because he needs money. So it's important that you remember these rules and pay attention to all the exercise, okay, if the action is in simple present, okay. Anyway, if you have doubts or comments or questions, please let me know.